Hey Stampin' friends, Darlene, and this is Darlene Stamps channel, and part of what I do is bring alternates for pumpkin. One of the challenges is you have to get it first, so this is a late start of my process because I got the box late. So, mailman does its own thing, and then whenever I get it, I get it. But I also had a whole missing incognito because I got the box for May so late that I just wound up going, we're just going to skip this because a lot's going on. Anyhow, thanks for joining me. I'm going to actually I'll do one sample, and of course what I do is I just show you what I've done because a lot of you are smart, creative, and have lots of ideas. So how to glue, how to layer are things that you already know. But just kind of putting something together, how it comes together, I think you'll enjoy it. So stay tuned. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is actually what you may or may not know is this masking. So you see I've already used one of these. This is the negative piece, or what I call masking. And so I want to kind of show just how to do the process and maybe a layout. So these are our great sponges. I'm trying to get more, but they've been on back order. So this one becomes my blue, just so that any kind of blue, but I can get that off. And then this one, it become kind of my light color. The ink spots that come in the set are just real small. Normally I have the base, so I wanted to kind of use a little bit of that. So getting kind of some, let me back up here. My thoughts are going crazy. I wanted to use the colors we got in the kit, but one of the things that is kind of a process of my ideas or my plan is to really go through, and if you go off the page and go back on, you don't get the big bulk of the it's smooth. Having it smooth is nice because you don't get big bulk of that. So there's kind of my little area, and then I'm just going to move it around, and I don't want it laying on top of each other. There we go. There. Anyhow, so by tapping it onto the pad coming off and then go back on, just allows you to pick up a little bit of the color and gives a nice, soft, not abrupt type of look when you're, oops. So, I was thinking that part of the concept of our pumpkins is to be able to create different things. I'm using actually colors that are not part of the kit, just because I'm trying to get a little bit of dimension in my color. Anyhow, what I was saying is, as we try to get a little bit of dimension and layers when we do our alternates. Anyhow, I'm kind of rambling because I'm trying to really kind of get a focus on not just this, because I'm oh, okay, it's been a while. It's been a month, and obviously my brain and my arms and my head are not going as one. Okay, let's get together here. So purple and green go so well together. So as you can see, I'm just forming a background, and the background primarily for me will become kind of my card base, not really a focal point. Whereas sometimes with a card style or a layer, you'll get something that will go more along the line of like a focal point or a dimension, or even like designer paper. And in our kit this month, there was card bases and some dimension. I thought that really came, went together nicely. Anyhow, I'm thinking that in order to try to get enough of the color in here, I'm just going to move this around. Anyhow, you can see that the negative piece is kind of getting bent. For our purpose, for my purpose on this one, I'm just trying to get some color in here, and a little bit of the form is okay. But if you come off, again, if you come off the paper and then come back on, it helps it to be a little bit less abrupt. All right, let's get one more green in here, because as you can see, I have a little boo-boo right there. So we are going to fix that boo-boo. And I think my focus needs to be more on the purple, but let's do a different style. Let's do this one. Anyhow, you know, I think sometimes now that we're opening up and we're getting together, I'm thinking, well, I need to get some workshops started, because I really enjoy getting together with people, and there are times when I'm making cards and people get so excited that they made a card. That's the wonderful thing about creating, is that you're able to actually do a lot with cards and design. So that was my Highland Heather. This was the Granny Apple Green. And let me pull over Gorgeous Grape, because I want to be able to do a little bit with a flicking method. So this is our water markers, and this one I have marked A because it's alcohol. That means that it actually is going to be, let me get my spoon here. It's going to be a little, it's going to dry better. And I wanted to be able to flick it, and I don't want to use my finger, so we're going to use this. So flicking gives it kind of a speckle look. So we are just going to, we've put some paint on this, and I used a darker color because I want it to kind of stand out more. Now I got to make sure that when I speckle that I cover my page, because I'm going to get speckle over everything. Anyhow, see, I've done things smart this time, because in the past I just used my finger, and then I have purple on my finger all day long. Okay, so see how it's kind of given it a little speckle in there? Nice. Okay, so I just thought I would give you a little bit of chance. I'll be able to wash that in a minute, but using alcohol will not curl your paper, whereas water, which you would normally do, would. So I'll be right back and clean this up, and let's look at some alternates. Well, this one is going to be fun, and let me explain what I did. So you see it says me and you. So this kit comes with the vellum, and there is German thank you, French thank you, and American thank you, English. So I took the merci and just took the M-E in there. And then I took the and from Danke, and the U came from the CI. So I put me and you. And I like this background. This background was really kind of neat. So I wanted to make sure to emphasize that, not chop it up too much. And then of course it has some bling. See the bling in there? All right, so that's my first one. This one, the sample came with the bumblebee, and I just flipped it, and I used the fresh. What is the color? It's a new in color. It's Fresca. Anyhow, and then used the positive leaves out of there. This actually is just a circle like I did, but see the dots around it? Kind of gives it a little bit more dimension without holes, without extra layers, and then just using the string on there. Okay. This one is very masculine, simple, just using the background, because the pieces for this are the like note card size, and I don't do a lot of note cards, so that's how I changed that. Just use my little tailor punch and the background, kind of raise this up, but that gives more dimension than that. This one is taking the base, which was the I think it might have been, I think the base might have been the polished pink, maybe? I think so. No, I think it's the fresh Fresca. Doesn't matter. So this is raised, obviously, and this number, because this name, Darlene, boy, you know, it takes a month and I gotta get back in the swing of things, so apologize for my bumbling. So this makes it look like this is actually the whites on top, and this is the base because of just the strips I used. This is not in the kit, but I needed something to kind of fill that in. But this is easy to use because you use the, I used 2-inch and then came in 1/8, and then you just crop each of the corners and you make them, so it looks like little petals. But it emphasizes the paper with a little bit of the trim for an accent. This is probably my favorite one. This is from Versatile. Very Versatile. The leaves that went down. So again, just emphasizing, and it's okay to catty corner and put this down so I can make this I could see more of the space than centering it for asymmetrical. My mom would appreciate the difference, I'm sure, and then having a little bit of bling over here on the side. So right there. And again, this is one of those tailor punches just to kind of get a little bit of oomph on that. So this is the vellum, and I wanted I wanted it to more pop than be translucent. So on the very back, so you'll have, it's kind of hard to see which side's front, which side's back. But obviously, the back would be opposite because of the way this is rented. I had one of these scraps laying around, so I wanted to have something pop on there. This is the corrugated area on this, and then just used the base of something else I had laying around for outlining the thank you. But on the back, I just took a marker and I colored the whole thing in, so it looks like it kind of the white stands out, but of course the black is on the underneath, you can't see it. So anyhow, and then adding some bling to that. Now I took the vellum piece and colored the back of it so you can still see the veins, you can see the rows. So I would say the ugly part is behind there. So what I'd like to just really remember, or have you remember, is that this being a big focal piece took up the whole card. So I wanted something to kind of have the texture. So I had this little basket weave folder. And of course this is from last month, and it was a little too big for, it is all the time, I think, underneath here. There. This is very, very, very simple. This takes the stamp that's in the kit. It looks more like a big mush, this one right here. But when you when you do the 2-step, one stamp and then stamp off, and then this actually is the pink. It's the pink one. So we have 3. So I just used the back part of this and then colored it in my green. And actually, I didn't color it. I actually used that big cloud and just stamped over it. So it has a little bit of the texture on it too. And of course, see that before you glue this down, see how these little leaves? So I would stamp those, move my sticker, flowers, and then stamp so that my edges would be in there. Because it's kind of hard to do these when this is down. So you have to kind of do your stamping, and then after it's stamped, you know where your location is of this, and then you can glue it down. So very simple, but you see the layers. So I pulled the bumblebee as my base here, and that became my base here. This is probably the one card that I did not chop up. It just made sense. It was already intact, but this is all that I have for samples, because when you don't get, when you don't have the paper that comes in the kit, or you don't have the ink, it's very useful just to use what's in the kit so you're able to make more. So I would encourage you to either chop it up, and like I said, I didn't get this chopped up, or I would have made probably one more. So that's kind of that. I'm running out of space here. This one, I wanted to emphasize the vellum, so I put black behind it, and then put my ribbon on before you put down this piece to the base. Oh, I guess it's the second one. I did 2 of them, son of a gun. And then these, I had the sprigs. This is that punch from Very Versatile when you buy it as a bundle. And then this you have to split, because the Sending Hugs is all 1 sentiment. So, all right, I'm gonna run out of room here. Let me get this squared up. All right, this one is probably near my favorite. So I made my own background with just the, doing what we did here with the negative. I did the negative here using, of course, the colors. And then you see that there's a little bit of the bumblebee sticking out there. So I wanted to emphasize that on my layer. That's how you get dimension. And then did some bling. So you'll see some of my bling in there. But remember, when you start with your background, making it, start big one first, and then work you down to the small. But your small should be the darkest color. So like my bold. You'll see that the flowers in here look like the colors in our kit, but it's something I had to make up because I don't have that color. So now we're getting down to some of my very, very favorites. So this one is very simple, just using the So Sweetly cutout for this, using the background that came in the kit, and this is Forever Fern. And getting that, and then just kind of accenting up here with one of the scrap pieces. And then my last card is using the pieces in the kit. This piece actually is sticking out. That came in the kit. That's from the sample. But this, you can see I used my sponge underneath to get that color on there. Just kind of a nice accent. And then the polymer is just fun. You can switch those around, make them. You don't have to be straight, asymmetrical. You can be, no, hold on. Symmetrical would be straight. Asymmetrical is little cattywampus. So anyhow, that is what I have today. And we have another kit coming up because of the month coming to a close really quick. We have 4th of July coming up. I want to take a big shout out to, just as America, we look at how great this country is. So we're coming up on 4th of July, and it would have been good to use the kit from last month for the 4th of July. So if you have samples, if you have things, if hopefully this has given you some ideas. So be safe, be well. Thanks for working through my awkwardness of trying to get back on track for being off a month. But thank you so much for subscribers that look at the unlimited ideas you can make with one kit. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.